Laura A. Grace here, the author of Dear Author, Letters from a Bookish Fangirl, Team Lines of Poetry Collection, and Finding God Anime Devotional for Otakus, which is free on a variety of platforms. I'll leave a link down below in case if you'd like to check it out. Oh my goodness, happy Tuesday, my friends. Happy Tuesday, my friends. We are continuing the 25 days of manga, and oh my goodness, I am so excited to be doing a video review of an early release, well, not early release, I mean early advanced reader's copy of a manga that's coming out from Shojo Beat next year. Yes. Just yes. But first, before I dive into anything else with this video, many thanks to Beneath the Tangles, a website that I blog for. I'll leave a link down below if you'd like to go check out their website. It is fantastic. Highly recommend it. And also a big thank you to NetGalley and Viz Media for letting me review this copy early. And that copy, that manga, is IMA KOI, Now I'm in Love. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I know I keep saying that, but like, dude, this manga blew me out the water. Just blew me out the water. It exceeded my expectations. I came in expecting one thing, but got something else that was so much better than what I even anticipated. So excited to talk about this manga, spoiler free for sure. But in case if you're not familiar with this manga, Imakoi, Now I'm in Love, is about a young woman. Her name is Satomi, I believe is her first name. She wants to change. In middle school that she was in love with this young man and she was content just watching him. She never confessed her feelings and nothing ever came from it, and she totally regretted not ever saying anything. So when a certain incident happens, it's super awkward, super uncomfortable, super like, no, it should never happen, but unfortunately I know that it does. But after that happens, and this young man, Yagyu, who is our main hero, she decides sort of to tell him how she feels because he rescues her in this situation, and lo and behold, he accepts her feelings and he's like, yeah, let's do this. And she's pretty shocked, a good shock though. She's happy and excited, and so unfolds not necessarily what happens when you're in love, but what happens after you enter into a relationship and you are in love. Like, what do you do then? This manga perfectly reflects that blurb. When I actually dove into this manga, I had read the blurb in the past, but this time when I read it, I didn't look at the blurb at all. I went in sort of blind. I couldn't exactly remember what this manga was about, and I'm going to confess that I was a little bit nervous. The last Shojo title I had read was sort of a miss for me, and I was really disappointed, and so I felt like I was a little bit nervous coming into this one, to be honest. So I went in thinking, okay, I hope I like this. I hope this like this. I felt that the manga, like the pose on the manga cover, made me feel like maybe there could be some spiciness a little bit in this, and there was like none. There was none. Like, this is such a wholesome and just innocent story. I love our main character. So I feel sometimes when we're reading shoujo manga that sometimes I feel like the main character, the girl, knows exactly what she wants in a relationship. Like, I wouldn't say that she's knowledgeable about boys, but she has like these expectations in place. She's wanting them to come to pass. Satomi, no, she doesn't. She enters into this relationship and she has no idea what to expect. She doesn't necessarily know what she even wants. And I love that. I really did. I think back on like when I had a crush on different guys when I was a freshman, and I really feel like this main character is like the embodiment of, I feel like many young freshman girls that you want to date this dude, but you have no idea what to do once you start dating them. And there are just such great, excellent moments involving that. I feel like Satomi is genuinely a young, naive woman, and I do not mean that as an insult to her or even disrespectful. I feel like it was refreshing to see a young woman who is naive about dating, not where like that's a bad thing, but she just doesn't have any experience. She doesn't know what to do. She's very innocent. She's shy, but there's times where she's very reckless, and it was good. And it was like, what are you doing, girl? What are you doing? I love how it involved the hero and how that comes to be and how that plays out. It was just very, very good. And I feel like too, just with her personality, that because of this innocence, like when she's talking to her best friend, who I love, I believe her name is Nemo, is what they call her. She is just precious. Like when they are in conversations together, I'm like, yes, this is a young high school girl who just absolutely loves this guy. She thinks he's very hot, thinks he's very cool, and just doesn't know what to do. And I wouldn't say that she's struggling with insecurities. It's more of like she doesn't want to sort of mess up and push him away by accident. And I was about to say it's so good. I feel like literally every time I have finished my statement in this video, I have said it's very good. Like, yes, I'm sure you guys know how that's how I feel. Refraining from saying it again. But I really loved that freshness about her character and just really her wholesomeness. And I don't know, it was just really great seeing a young character who just didn't know what to do. And while a lot of shoujo manga I feel like have problems that center around like miscommunication or a lack of communication, you will not find this in this manga. And I'm just gonna say, I will be so disappointed, okay, if at any heart of any problem from this manga going, like in this series going forward, if miscommunication or lack of communication is the heart of their problems. Like, no, 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 no. Our main guy here, Yagyu, I mean, he is big on communicating. He tells her, like, please tell me what you were thinking. Do not hold out on me. And she's like, okay, well, don't hold out on me either. Tell me what you're thinking because I don't know what to do. And she asks him questions. And I'm just like, yes, can we have more of this more in manga? I mean, I get that sometimes when you are younger, like you're embarrassed to say things and there genuinely can be times of miscommunication. But it was nice to have a shoujo manga where like our couple here is just like communicating. They're asking each other questions. They're asking them to be honest with the other person. And if they're like, you don't know, just ask. And yes, I am here for that. I really, really enjoyed that. It was a nice thing to see that if there's sort of, I wouldn't say there's actually really any like big problems in this manga, though I foresee due to one of the characters who I won't say his name, but I liked him. And he's pretty funny, but I do feel like he could cause some issues for our ship here later on. Hopefully there will not be any love triangles. I'm not here for the love triangles. I'm really digging this couple. To be honest, in many ways, they remind me, where's it at? Oh, I have it up there. But in many ways, they remind me of the couple from Honey So Sweet. And interestingly enough, I've read Honey So Sweet. I have a video review about that. Absolutely wonderful, amazing series. But I have not read this manga yet. But I was going to say the beginning of it sort of reminds me of My Love Story. This is volume 2. It was hard to get volume 1. But it reminds me of the beginning of My Love Story. And I liked that relatability. I feel like it's different. Oh, well, it's definitely different because My Love Story is funny from my understanding. And our main dude here is something else. He's a big burly guy. So he's already different as the typical shoujo hero anyway. But it reminded me a little bit of that. I feel like that's the only comparison, though, between the two titles. But anyway, going back to Honey So Sweet, what I feel like there's a comparison there is in Honey So Sweet, our main couple is very open about their feelings. Yes, there is later on a development where they're not communicating as well as they should. And that was a time where I was like, you know what? You need Yo from High School Debut to come in and tell y'all to talk to one another. Anyway, that's a ramble. But it reminded me of them. Like the couple in this manga reminded me of the couple in Honey So Sweet. And I just love that. I love how both of these manga, like I said, are centering around if there's problems, it's not about that we're not communicating well or we're not telling the other person what we're really thinking. Very good stuff that I am just here for. And let's talk about our hero. I liked him. And it's so funny because maybe because I've been trained by shoujo manga and I felt like because he had blonde hair that he was sort of a delinquent. And to be honest, I don't feel like that was 100% true. Like he was surprising to me too, not just the main character, but he also surprised me in how he is, who he is, and I loved the interactions with him, and I do love that he's very respectful of Satomi's boundaries, and there are some, I will just say, there's some very cute kisses. I was 100% here for it. It was very, very sweet, and I absolutely loved it, but I just love how respectful and mindful he is of her, and how he's willing to give her his time and his energy and his thoughtfulness. Maybe not his thoughtfulness, but how thoughtful he is towards her. There's a really big part with that. And I just really liked him. He was different than I expected. He might come across as this cold guy, but he has such good surprises underneath that. I feel like as a whole, I loved all of the characters. I love Satomi's brother, Saichi. He plays a really minor role, but I always enjoy when we have like some of the family come in and there's like a relationship going on, especially in the beginning. I think it's just really cute. And this one was really cute. It was really funny. And I guess maybe remind me of the time when I was first dating my husband and him meeting my other siblings. And it was just great. It was so perfect. I really, really enjoyed that. And I thought it interesting that, you know, in a lot of shoujo manga, okay, maybe not a lot, but the first one that comes to mind is Strobe Edge. When you think of Strobe Edge, and let me get the cover. Here we go. But I think of Strobe Edge and how much of this manga is more of that feeling and that wanting through majority of this series. Like you don't really see the end results until really the end. And I thought it interesting that somebody had commented on Goodreads. It was another review. I read the review after I posted mine, and they had mentioned that they didn't like how couples are getting together so early in shoujo manga. And I thought that really interesting because I feel like besides Honey So Sweet, I don't really know of any other shoujo manga where the main characters get together like really early in the first volume. So if you don't like that, maybe that's just something to be mindful of, but I didn't feel it was fast paced. I felt like, to be honest, I felt like it was a really good sort of like friends to lovers kind of situation. I mean, they didn't really know each other when they first met, but I like that. I mean, I love a good enemies to lovers. Like that is always fantastic, to be honest, but I'm trying to find too some friends to lovers. And I feel like this one sort of had that a little bit of that very low key vibe though, because I said they didn't know each other from the get-go, but I liked. Anyway, I brought up Strobe Edge and all of that, and I got sidetracked. I apologize. But what I was trying to say is that I thought it interesting that our main girl, Satomi, in IMA KOI, that she doesn't focus on the beginning of things. There's a really interesting conversation that she tells somebody that she doesn't believe in fate sort of deciding how her fate will be, so to speak. She believes making her own fate, and that she wants Yagyu to be part of that. And I thought that interesting that this manga really does focus on what happens after you're in a relationship compared to Strobe Edge, where I feel like it's the beginning, like like the whole manga is about trying to get the beginning of that relationship even started. It was great. I didn't feel it was bad at all. It was really nice to not read a manga for like 20 volumes and just hoping and praying that at some point our main couple is going to be a couple. You know what I mean? We already have that established in this volume, and that's part of the blurb, so that's not a spoiler, okay? I highly recommend Imakoi, Now I'm in Love, to anyone that is looking for sort of a friends to lovers, couples that have good communication, a main character that's very sweet and innocent and naive and very wholesome, and just a very sweet romance. This manga releases, I believe, March 1st, I believe is when it releases, and I cannot wait for it to release and hold this in my hands. I'm definitely going to be collecting this series. Really looking forward to what happens next. What are some shoujo title friends that you are excited to read that are going to be releasing soon, or that you got an early copy of, or just that you read recently? I would love to hear from you, friends. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and thanks so much for watching. Bye!